guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing just a little sit down chatty video. It is a rainy day here and I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've been going through health wise, bring you up to speed, let you know what brought me here, what I'm doing, just kind of give you the lowdown. You know, I feel like we haven't had a chatty sit down video in a while, so grab some snacks. We're going to talk about some health things and let's just get on into it. So some of you may remember this back in 2018, I think it was either 17 or 18, I started having like severe night sweats. Like I am talking drenching my sheets to where the point like I would have to get up in the middle of the night and change my sheets. At the time I was doing a bulk, and when I went to the doctor they were like, oh, your metabolism is just really high, you're eating so much, you're working out so much, you're inflamed from CrossFit. That's what they told me, and I just needed to chill out. Basically that was their advice. And I dealt with this like on and off for like 6 months probably, and they checked my thyroid because then they thought maybe there was something wrong with my thyroid, which there wasn't, and they basically were just like, well, we don't know, everything looks fine, your blood work looks fine, your hormones look fine, so you're just crazy. I mean, like that's usually what they tell you. So that happened and I ended up moving to Iowa in 2019, and I didn't really notice as much of the night sweats, but I also purchased the 8 Sleep Pod Pro, which, just as a side note, if you're a hot sleeper, you need this in your life. Okay, I made a video on it, so go watch that one. But I didn't really notice it, and also because it was such a cold climate, so for most of the year it was very cold anyway, so I didn't deal with as much of the night sweats. And I was really bad about getting my blood work done. I'll be honest, I didn't really go to the doctor as often as I should have, so I really don't know what like my base levels were. So fast forward, I moved here and I decided that I was going to get some blood work done from the doctor, just because also my PCP here kind of requires you to do that in order to be on crazy meds. So I had to get blood work done, and just as a note before I get into like the secondary round of blood work that I did, if you're not like very specific with what you ask your doctor for with blood work, they typically will just do a basic CBC, and that does not include like a full female or male hormone panel or a full thyroid panel. Like it will check, I think, your TSH. I have to double check, I don't know at this moment, but it doesn't run it fully. So I went and got that blood work done, and that came back fairly normal with the exception of my LDL cholesterol being pretty high. And I will say that the one time I did go to the doctor back in Iowa, the same thing. My LDL was really high, and of course, you know, he was like, the doctor at the time was like, well, we could put you on cholesterol meds, and I was like, I don't think so, because I don't fit the mold for someone with high cholesterol, and it also runs in my family. So I was like, it's probably genetic. So the LDL came back pretty high again, and I was like, that kind of confirms, you know, this physician's assistant that I see here is super kind. She really cares a lot. So she was like, I don't think it's necessary that you go on cholesterol medication. Let's just, you know, keep an eye on it and monitor it. So that was like when I first moved here. In September of 2022, so last year, I decided that I was going to get off of hormonal birth control. And I had been on the NuvaRing for literally since I was 20 years old. And prior to that, they had me on the birth control pill, low estrogen, since I was like 17. So I have had some form of artificial hormones in my body for over 10 years. And I knew that it was going to be kind of a wonky process. I knew that my hormones would probably go crazy when I got off of it, and I would feel weird. And I was also noticing some other symptoms just in terms of like, you know, I wasn't really having like a super high sex drive. I thought a lot of that was due to my SSRIs. I just, you know, for being like not even 30, I kind of thought that was weird. So I went ahead and just got off of the birth control, and that was in September, and it is now September of 2023, and I have still not gotten a period. So a couple of months ago, I was like, all right, I think that I need to transition away from like my regular PCP doctor, and I need to figure out what's going on with me hormonally, because I started getting those symptoms again that I was getting in 2018. So the hot flashes came back. Luckily, my 8 Sleep Pod prevented me from freaking sweating through my sheets, but I started getting the hot flashes like really, really bad. That was just, that's so frustrating on its own. And I was definitely feeling like a little bit more irritable, and it just, I thought that it was because maybe my body was trying to have a cycle but not. So it was just a really uncomfortable feeling. So I was reaching out to a couple of my friends, close friends and coworker, her husband, he and her both have used this clinic. It's called Whitmer Rejuvenation. And I went this route for a couple of reasons. And I'm going to go into more detail, but also I'm putting the links in the description box because I did not know that this was a thing. So you can actually order your own blood work, like in a very detailed way. You could literally order whatever you want. I didn't know this. Like, I thought you had to go into a doctor and like explain your things and they had to write you a script and you go to LabCorp. No, you can do this yourself. Whenever you run into these like issues, like I was just describing, specifically hormone related, the number one thing that you need to do is get your blood work done. Because I could sit here and I was, trying to research everything and see like what could I do naturally, because that's kind of the route that I wanted to go. But if I didn't know what was actually wrong, then I wouldn't have known where to start. So this was like the coolest experience ever, because so I got the full female panel, the one that I'm linking in the description. That's what I chose to do. And for the price of that, you get the full panel, but then you also meet with an NP. So you do a Zoom call with an NP that goes over everything with you, like full hour. It was worth every penny, because I personally feel like, I don't know, just anytime I've ever had issues with like a regular doctor, they're not as like well versed in specific things, especially if you have something going on with your thyroid. Like, they'll just refer you to like an endocrinologist or whatever the issue is. And so I kind of wanted to talk more in depth about what was going on with me specifically. So I got the full female hormone panel and I met with my nurse practitioner, and lo and behold, my body is not producing estrogen. Literally less than 5. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here so you can see, and you get all of the other information along with that, but that makes a lot of sense because I was not producing estrogen, therefore I was not getting a cycle, and this has been going on for a full year. Now, how long this has actually been going on, who the heck knows, because I was on hormonal birth control. So obviously back in 2018 when I was having these symptoms, they checked my female hormone test and it came back fine. Well, obviously the birth control is putting fake estrogen and progesterone into your body, so that appeared normal. So now being off of it and in my body's natural state, it was very, very low. I literally in menopause low. There are a lot of things that can contribute to this. I don't want to go too far into that in this video because I don't really know what the source of it is at this current moment, and I'm trying to work through that, but I'm just like in the beginning stages, which is why I'm making this video, because I want to kind of make a playlist on my YouTube of maybe like how I'm going to start like addressing this and some natural supplements that I'm going to start taking and things like that to kind of work through it. So maybe if you're dealing with this might help you. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. You guys know this. I have to give that disclaimer, but sometimes it's just nice to feel like you're not alone in this, because it kind of feels like embarrassing. Like, how am I not even 30 and I'm going through menopause, and why? Like, that's so weird, right? So anyways, with that being said, with the full hormone panel, the other thing that was elevated was, again, my cholesterol, and because it was even higher, it also elevated my liver enzymes. It was actually kind of scary to me because I'm already like concerned about the elevated LDL because of my heart, and then now I'm having this other issue where I have literally never drank alcohol in my entire life. I take the most basic supplements of all time. Like, I have just so many questions. So it was nice to actually finally go over all of that and like talk with an NP about all of the different things, especially about my hormones, because I don't want to go back on birth control. I don't want to be on artificial hormones. I want to go about this in the most natural way possible. So it was just kind of like a little disheartening. If you've been following on my other forms of social media with Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, I've been also dealing with this super crazy, like, I personally at this point think there's something going on with my lymphatic system, but if my liver is not processing things appropriately, then that would kind of correlate with the lack of drainage that's happening. There's so many weird things going on right now, and I think my body is literally trying to tell me like, yo, you need to chill out. I think that I have been in a state of such high volume training as a natural athlete for so long that my body is like not able to keep up. One of the reasons why I really had to take a big step back from CrossFit, because as somebody who does not use performance enhancing drugs, it's really, really hard to keep up with the Joneses and to like really push myself to the place where I feel I can go, but my body is like, nah sis, like you can't, we're just not making estrogen now. Yeah, you fucked up. It's been really difficult for me to like understand that that balance and kind of figure out what do I need to do, what do I need to supplement with, and basically where do I go from here. So that's where we're at in menopause. We love that. And I'm trying to do some things to kind of get out of this situation, but I wanted to kind of just share my experience and talk with you guys through it, because number one, like, I did not know, like I said, that was a thing that you can do to just like order your own blood work. There's other ones on there. I'm gonna do this one next. I'm gonna get the mental health one. There is a mental health marker. You can check your serotonin levels. Like, there are so many things you can check that I didn't know that you could do, like essentially from the comfort of your own home, because I mean, obviously I went to LabCorp to get it done, but like I ordered it myself. I had the Zoom call, like you don't have to go to the doctor's office. And I was just like, I mean, as someone who is in health, this is a great now like newer thing that they're able to offer you in the health field. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. I mean, it was really a good opportunity, and I feel like gave me some answers as to what's actually going on with my body. The why behind it, though, I'm not sure yet. That will probably be like episode 2 or 3 once I start like figuring out what I need to do, how to get there, if it's working. So we'll see. Hopefully there will be some improvements, but as of right now, I'm like just in the stages of like, I just spoke with the NP, and that's how I just learned this. So I wanted to just kind of like document it. So if you have any questions on it, let me know, drop them in the comments below, but that's pretty much it. I am not making estrogen, and my body is like super out of whack right now, and that sucks. So if you're going through this, you're not alone. But if you have any questions on it, or you just want to share any of your experience, I'm always happy to listen. So that's it for today's little video. I don't have anything super exciting for you, but we will resume normal content next week with some full days of eating and vlogs and fun stuff, because you guys have been loving those. So that is it for today's video. I love you guys so much, as always. Thank you so much for following and subscribing and just being awesome. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in next week's video.